Hello and welcome to Tabletop Odyssey. My name is Jay and it's just going to be a very quick video to talk about the release date for the Phase 2 Clone Troopers, the B2 Super Battle Droids, the AAT and the TX-130 or whatever it's what it says here. Apparently, these are actually now all due in February 2020. So, yeah, I want to have a bit of a rant and I want to talk about that. So that's what we're going to do. Very short video. If at the end of this video you like this video, press the like. And if you're interested in Star Wars Legion, please join us here. I would very much appreciate it. So what am I talking about? So I won't dwell too much on this, but LJ, a very well-known community member, has basically been contacted by FFG. They're talking about improving relationship with the community, etc. And one thing that they mentioned, and they're probably not going to be happy that I'm using it like this because it's not even guaranteed, they talk about how they have the caveat of, this might not come out at this point or what have you, which is interesting, by the way. We'll just go through that. Dooku and Rex are coming out next week, 15th of November. Then we're going to have the repackaged Dewback Riders. Then we're going to have the paints, tentative, interesting. And then we're going to have the upgrade expansions and Darth Vader and Luke and the Crash Pod. They're all coming December, so cool for those people who want that in Christmas. And then this one is the interesting one for me. Yeah, the basically it's the extra core trooper choice for the clone factions and the vehicles. Now there's a couple of other interesting things here, talking about transparency and release dates, as I said, talking about how best to communicate with the community, the kind of feedback. That's a whole different conversation to itself. This though, for me, if I'm honest, if this holds true, and I don't want to hold FFG to this, I find that really depressingly sad. I'm not gonna lie. Let's look at what happened with the original release, right? In the original release, yes, Wave 1 was actually, if anything, the original game was delayed it was going to be the end of the year, December, but it got delayed to March, which then meant Wave 1, which was the ATST and the second phase troopers and Leia and all that kind of stuff, was either the same month or the next month or what have you. And even then, people were complaining, reviewers, etc., were complaining that there wasn't enough choice. The factions weren't big enough. Now, we literally have, for the Clone Wars factions, we have the stuff you get, so the core trooper choice, the commanders that are in the box, and the supports. Don't know what I'm saying it so weirdly. And then now next week you're going to have 2 new commanders. Nice. Commanders are actually a really big change. I think commanders are a very easy way of changing lists up or what have you. But it's very hard to flesh out a list with just that stuff unless you buy multiples of them, especially the core troopers. It would have been nice to have some more choices. And considering this came out in October, we're going to then be we'll skip October. We'll say November, December, January. It's 3 full months, and let's say 4 or 5, depending on how you want to count it. Before you get if you counted that as 5 months, that's insane to me. That you can go that long without having almost any choice in your lists. I understand FFG have issues with, the stuff probably getting shipped from China, when things are getting manufactured, but it's FFG's problem and Asmodee's problem to sort out. And I feel like I don't have the solution. I can't give them the solution. It's probably very complicated with logistics and all kinds of problems. But for me, having such a big delay from when those clone factions officially released to when you can get decent options is sad. I don't think it's very good, I guess. And I think ultimately the problems with the Clone Wars, not just the delay, but these kind of problems, and I mentioned how those should have been more hype for the Clone Wars in a previous video, but these kind of problems have just led to the Clone Wars not being as hyped or as big as they possibly should have been. I feel like, and I mentioned this in the video so I won't repeat too much, but if you treated the Clone Wars release as if it was the initial release that Asmodee and FFG did for Star Wars Legion, you did all the same kind of stuff, the hype for that was incredible. Now there has been a bit of a quiet in terms of the announcements of what's coming in the future, which makes sense because if we've got a schedule up until February already, if you release something now, it's 4 months away. And I sort of hope, and every time there's a little bit of a drought, I always hope it's FFG being like, well, we'll actually announce stuff closer to release. I don't think that would be the case, but you never know. Yeah, so I mean, I would love to have proper release dates. It's nice to have even a tentative list, but the problem with that is it then reveals the Clone Wars problem of, yeah, you've got Dooku and Rex a month after they came out, but then you've got nothing for like, even if we include November, it's at least December or January and February. All right, 2-3 months, depending on how you want to count that. Where there's nothing for those Clone Wars factions. I feel like they should have, it wouldn't have been a problem if you would have done more Clone Wars faction stuff early on. Everybody would have understood you needed to like get them up to speed. But to do it this slowly feels weird to me. Yeah, I mean, that's all really is all I've got to say on the matter. And I think it's just hindering Legion and Clone Wars hype as a whole. Yeah, that's it. Let me know your thoughts. Like, I don't want to moan too much because I still feel like obviously the game's great and everything, but I just feel like these like nitty gritty issues with less smooth release dates and logistics and marketing and stuff like that just ultimately like makes people a little bit more reserved. Like if you really wanted, I just had a random thought. Imagine it was released in September. And then we only got Dooku and stuff in October, and then it'd be even longer before it came out. That's mind blowing. Like I can't get my head around how it happened to be like this. I feel like it would have been better just delaying the Clone Wars as a whole to like December and going like December to February. Like December, have the Clone Wars factions, then Dooku and Rex, then the droids and the vehicles. Granted, everybody would have been annoyed because he would have been selling it at Gen Con and stuff like that. But that's it. It's just a short video, short rant. I do apologise, but we have tentative release dates for this stuff, so that's good if you're interested in that stuff. The problem with that is it's 4 months away. Yeah, that's it. So, I mean, I say like and subscribe, but, this is that kind of video. Very short one. Kate is bringing me chippy, so I've got to go. Have a most beautiful day, and goodbye.